Well, hello there. Oh, today you look particularly good behind the screen there. Is that a new shirt that I see, or do you have a new haircut? Is there a reason why I'm particularly charming today? Maybe. Do I want you to do something today? Maybe. Well, do you remember when about 3 months ago, Ida and I went to Amsterdam and took you with us on a 2-day project shoot for Epidemic Sound? Well, that video is now live on the Epidemic Sound YouTube channel. And I really want you to go there, watch it, and tell me how you like it. And on those 2 days that we were filming with Sadia from Pickup Lines, we got to ask her so many questions about how she grew her channel to, I think now, 1.3 million subscribers. And we were talking so much about self-doubt, anxiety, and fear, especially as someone who's just starting out, like we are here on YouTube. And there are so many things that I took away from this that didn't even fit in the 5 minutes of the final video that I want to share with you today. So let's get ready and start right with the first one. And that is that if you think you have a valuable skill or something interesting to say, but you have all these self-doubts that are holding you back from actually sharing it with people, you gotta understand that you actually have an obligation to share those. And it's very, very selfish if you don't do that. So let me explain that a little bit more. Just think about all the people that will want to be able to do what you can do, but just because you let your self-doubt hold you back, they don't get to learn that. That's actually pretty egoistic, and
it's a disservice to not share some of the information that you know with people if you think it might help them. So it's actually a responsibility.
And having self-doubt is definitely not a good enough excuse to not do that. Because the next thing that I took away from Sadia is that the self-doubt that she had in the beginning, they didn't go away. They actually became bigger over time, although she grew.
The self-doubt was not as much as it became later on. Because in the beginning, it's just you and what you're creating. But then suddenly, the world is watching in a way, and that can kind of become intimidating.
That was pretty weird for me to hear, because I always thought that once you make it, that's the point where the self-doubt go away. So sad to say, but what I want you to learn from this is that you actually have to accept that the self-doubt is there and that it's very likely never gonna go away. And next, understand that actually when you grow bigger, which is what probably all of us aspire to do, it's not really gonna get easier. There's gonna be a lot of pressure coming with that and a lot of expectations from people now that you maybe gained your tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That's, by the way, why I find this YouTube thing is such an awesome thing, because it really forces you to grow as a person, to be able to put yourself out there for everyone else to see and to judge, and then also start dealing with all the thoughts that you have in your head that might be holding you back from this. But here's what particularly surprised me about how Sadia is dealing with doubt. Because she said that normally we see doubt as a very bad and negative thing, but after all she sort of reframed it and sees it as a positive thing, because it actually only shows that you really care about what you're doing and you want people to like what you're doing. So it's something that is very important to you.
I think it kind of keeps you in check and it keeps you grounded. It's a good feeling because it shows that you care about it.
So having a lot of doubts about that thing that you want to be doing right now, that just means that that thing is really important for you, which should let you know that you're on the right way. But if in the very beginning you don't really feel comfortable with putting yourself out there, with making everything public for other people to see, then there's absolutely no shame in uploading your content or sharing your content just for yourself to see. What Sadia did in the very beginning, she built up her blog and she made videos, but she didn't share them with anyone.
I didn't tell anybody about the blog, and it was just for me. I was creating these videos, but I was keeping them to myself until I kind of had a substantial amount of things to share, and then I put it out there.
So if you're struggling with that, just create content for yourself, and then as soon as you have enough, then you can share it. And the next thing actually is something that I experienced myself also very much. Especially when you record yourself and make videos, then you need to find some place in the very beginning where you don't feel judged by anyone. For Sadia, that was her own apartment that they moved into.
Because in reality, a lot of the time you're sitting in front of a camera and you mess up and you say things over and over and over again, but you do it at your own pace and in your own space.
For me, it's pretty much the same. When I'm recording myself here, I usually choose a street where there's not much happening, because it's still weird when people look at you while you're filming yourself. So if that's something you struggle with, then just take a little bit of time to find a spot where you don't feel judged recording yourself or creating whatever you're creating. And the next one is probably my absolute favorite takeaway from the 2 days of hanging out with Sadia.
And I remember this first person I told that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. She said, "But why would you do that?" I remember walking away from that conversation feeling a little bit discouraged, but I was also really proud of myself for just mentioning it anyway, because I was turning it into a reality already.
So I experienced it absolutely the exact same way. The moment that I started telling people about, hey, I'm making YouTube videos now. I'm a filmmaker, video person. It's like suddenly it shifts for yourself, but also for everyone else, where they suddenly see you like, oh, okay, he's really actually doing that and he's serious about that. And it's almost as if that moment you give yourself permission of making it something that is real and that you're gonna be successful in. So for me it helped, for Sadia it helped. So try it out yourself. Tell people about it. And the very last thing that I want to share with you in today's video, and probably one of the most important ones for you to understand, is that whenever you're doing something creative, make videos, whatever it may be, is that growth and the rate of how you're improving is gonna be so ridiculously slow.
The growth is so incredibly slow that when people tell you that it can't be done, you are tempted to believe them.
And that's just the way it is. It's gonna take a shitload of time if you want to do something like this. And the way Sadia reframed that for herself I found super interesting, because for her it wasn't about getting the hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of views. She mainly thought about, with making a video, can I help more people than I would have been able to help on a normal day as being a dietitian?
That's the reason I was able to continue in the beginning when it's really slow. There were days where I remember I would upload a video and it got to 30 views and I was like, yep, that was a day's work. And it felt rewarding enough. My focus was just, can I help as many people as I did working in a hospital through the means of a video? Yes, then I've done my job.
And just as I was editing this, I realized there's this perfect statement that Sadia made that I want to share with you today in the end of this video.
If you think of every single YouTuber, content creator, blogger, whoever it is that you look up to, they all started out with no one knowing what their name was. Everyone started with that one video that only got 1 view after 1 hour, and it might have been their mom. They also had that phase in the beginning and they kept going, and the only way you can continue to grow and to reach more people is to keep going.
So those are the points that I really wanted to share with you today. If you haven't already, then now make sure to click the video, I think somewhere over here. And by the way, also you can see here the vlog when we actually recorded that video. So you can see behind the scenes how this actually was made. Until next time.